Alright guys, well, I got back from Danuser yesterday and I did not pull my new stuff off. Some of you might be wondering, Jason, what the heck? Why do you have a new Intimidator on your truck? You have an Intimidator. Well, I got a new Intimidator. I'll show you why in a minute. And then this is a fork frame. It's a walk-through fork frame. Kind of like what we had on my dad's tractor. I really liked it, so I went ahead and got the frame, and I'm going to take the forks off of my old frame and put them on this because they'll work. I like the 42-inch forks in all Danuser stocks as a 48s, and then I have a place here in town that I can get fork frames and forks wholesale, so I'm going to go get a new set of forks, the tines. I don't necessarily like the 48s because they stick through a pallet, but let's show you why I got a new Intimidator and why Corey is going to have a new used Intimidator. You know, when you jump on YouTube, and I haven't checked this for a fact, but if you jump on YouTube and you type in, just look up tree pulling, Intimidator, Danuser, something, you're probably going to see the Skidco channel pop up. Actually, some of my videos are on Danuser's website. They liked a lot of my videos enough, they asked if they could run them on their, you know, like migrate some of my videos into their videos. So you would think that somebody would take someone's advice if they had that many videos and that much time pulling trees. But he didn't. Not to throw Corey under the bus or anything, but this was not bent before. Now remember, I've pulled trees for hundreds. I might have 1,000 hours on a tree puller. I don't know. I have a lot of hours on tree pulling. This tree puller was still in great shape when he used it. He used it for 5 hours. Somehow he bent this backwards, which this isn't a big deal. I was going to bend it back up. I was going to re-weld it. It's not crazy thick material, but remember, I've pulled thousands of trees. I've probably put 500 hours on this puller, and I never had a problem with it. I never bent it. He bent that, so that's the small part. And then up here, he bent this down. I've already bent it back up a little bit with the excavator. That's what that scratch is from. I kind of grabbed it with the bucket, but this was bent down quite a ways. Well, this is 1/2-inch material. And again, I never bent it. He did stretch a pin. One of the pins on one of the teeth are stretched, so when you pick it up and look at it, one tooth kind of hangs down a little bit. That's not a big deal. I could drive a pin out and put a new rubber pin in it. But he did bend the end of the pin. You can actually see the end of the pin coming out like that. So he pried out. I told him, I said, don't engage the ground unless the jaws are closed. So he went ahead and closed the jaws, got underneath this rock that was the size of the skid loader. I don't know if you can see here, but some of these teeth are kind of worn down because these things are fairly sharp. They're kind of knocked down and flat. I mean, you probably can't see it in the video, but like up here, that's kind of got some tooth to it. And these, they're not missing paint, so it's not like I wore them down, but they're literally smashed. So what he actually did is he was trying to pry out this rock. It was literally the size of the skid loader. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I look over and I'm like, why'd you pull that out? And he goes, well, there's a tree by it. Who pulled a tree? Don't worry about the rock. Anyway, so he smashed the teeth down. You know, like literally, and this rock was enormous. I don't even know how he got it out with the 65. It was enormous. It was like at least the size of the track print on the ground of the SVL 65. Anyways, so then what he was doing is, I don't know what kind of movies you watch, but if you watch like Jurassic Park or the monster movies or anything like that, where you see the monster coming like down the hillside in the trees, but you can't see the monster yet. So imagine seeing that in the woods when somebody's down there with an SVL 65 in your tree puller, and then they're not laying the trees down, pulling them out of the woods. I kept telling him, when you pull a tree, lay it down in the woods, pull it out like a trailer. because he was just wanting to be selective. And, you know, you can't really get a tree to fit down like a 6 or 8 foot wide path that you're making. So I said, pull a tree, lay it down, drag it out like a trailer. It'll help scrub up all the sticks on your drive lane there, and it works really good. Instead of doing that, I kept watching, and he kept having the tree sticking straight up, dragging it through all the tops of the trees and everything else fighting it. Well, then he would lay the tree over, and the tree would, you know, automatically, he wouldn't necessarily keep it like in here in the curved part. You know, the tree limb might be hanging off the side or hanging off that side. So I assume that's how he bent that piece. And I know that's how he bent this. I mean, there's no other way. You know, when you have the Intimidator kind of rolled forward, and because sometimes the tree wants to roll back, so you roll the Intimidator forward and you lean the tree up against this, like I've done 100 or thousands of times. And generally you don't bend it, but he bent it. So he said, well, I know how you are with your stuff. It wasn't bent when you let me borrow it. And he's got a lot of pulling. Well, I've got 2 or 3 more tree clearing jobs now to do with mine. So he opted just to buy this one from me, and I went and bought a new one. So not throwing Corey under the bus or anything, but I just wanted to explain to you what not to do with your tree puller, because you will bend it. You can bend it. It's metal. You can flatten the teeth out if you decide to pull a rock out the size of your skid loader, which those would still work just fine. You could actually take a grinder and touch it up and all that, but I didn't even see this until the other day, and it still has flaky paint on it. So, and I used it, but I mean, it had flaky paint on it, like covering the whole thing, when I loaded it on the trailer the other day to load it up. And I saw that, and I'm like, is that crushing the lines? So anyways, it's not. But so if you see a new tree puller, no, I didn't destroy it. I mean, this thing was abused to sin for 5 or 6 hours, and that's all the damage it took. So, and I mean abused to sin. I know there's a couple videos out there. There's a new tree puller that it's kind of like the Intimidator, and it's got like a bent spoon look to it. I don't know. They say that it works better for leverage, and you can have an engineer tell me all day long that is going to produce more force as you curl your bucket up. The machines don't have that much power. You can take, you know, the biggest skid loader out there, and they're not going to have that much force out on the end. I don't care what the numbers say. I don't care. I've ran machines. I've done it. They don't have that much leverage, you know, 24, 30 inches out from the machine. And most guys aren't going to have like the biggest skid loader. You're not going to have a 333 or a 335P Deere. You're not going to have, you know, a big TL12 Talk out there probably pulling trees all day long. It's just, most guys are going to have what I call a typical size machine. Most guys have like an 8,000 or 9,000, maybe a 10,000 pound machine. So anyways, but even if you do have a big machine, you're not going to have that much force on it. And if you've ever watched my videos of the saplings, this thing kills saplings. It absolutely annihilates fields of saplings. I'm going to have a couple more videos next week, a couple more days of pulling saplings over at my dad's, because it's so effective. I don't even take anything else anymore. Well, when you do that, if you watch how fast this opens up with that single cylinder, it's so fast. So I can have stuff in it. I can pull up and open and close it again and grab it and pull it back kind of in this motion, and all your material doesn't fall down and turn into like a ball of mess in front of you. So I think just about everybody else's tree pullers that have, you know, 2 jaws moving, everybody puts a cylinder on each side. I think the CL Fab ones like that. I'm not 100% positive. You have to get on the internet and look, but I think the Dominator's like that. So it's going to be slower. It takes, you know, it's probably going to be half as slow as the Intimidator, because it's got 2 cylinders it has to open with the same amount of flow as 1 cylinder. So, you know, 1 cylinder's fast, 2 cylinders are slower. Is one stronger than the other? I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but I've showed you, I've picked up trees that, you know, the jaws are half open with this thing, and I've never had a problem you know, with the holding power of it. But this, I don't know about the spoon thing. The spoon thing, I don't know. You couldn't do what I do with saplings because you're losing all that real estate of flat area going up on the ground. So you might be able to, you might have more leverage out on the end or something, but I really don't think so. Again, I'm not an engineer. I'm not talking bad about the other attachment. It looks strong. I mean, it's got like all kinds of metal layered up and welded everywhere. And I mean, it's thicker. It's, I don't know, but I've never bent mine. And Corey abused that thing for 5 hours and no problems. So anyways, I just wanted to explain why you're gonna see a new Danuser Intimidator on my machine. I didn't want anybody to think that I destroyed it and hiding it or something. I try to tell you guys everything. But if you haven't seen my video of setting the Intimidator up before, let's set my new Intimidator up. I don't remember exactly what we got to do. Unbolt it and lay this back and bolt the cap protector thing on it. And then there is a very distinctive way to run your lines through. And I'm telling you, I've never messed my lines up on that one. And I did it exactly how they said to do it. You run it through there and you loop it like this maybe, and then you loop back through the spring thing. But we're going to go back and look at that one because I remember they told me exactly how to do it. Maybe I watched a video, I don't remember. I've had that thing for probably 2 years. I got a bug biting me. And we'll get it set up, and that way you'll see a setup video. We'll try to keep it short and sweet. This has already been 12 minutes of me, you know. I am on the carnivore diet though. Hopefully it looks like I lost some weight. I am losing a little bit of weight, but I feel really good, so I don't mind working stuff out. This is heavier than what you really want to do, but and I have a machine right there, I could go like that, but you just gotta do it. Instructions, in case you want to put a grapple on it, you can put a grapple on it. work out for this morning at least. All right, let's see what kind of visibility we had when we lifted up to get that. This one wasn't horrible, but it is a pretty small window. We can measure it. That's a little bit bigger, not by much, but this part here, it drops down almost down to the plate on a Kubota. So, and I definitely like, it's a wider step. I kind of made those walk through. I should have went all the way down to the bridge like they do here, but I didn't. Just kind of modified what was there. So give me a minute, let me figure out, let me attach that. I guess you have to push to operate. They should let you attach and unattach your attachment, I would think. Let's see. I can put you guys, I'll put you guys right there. Give me a minute. All right. That'll kind of give you a view on how you're going to see under your forks. I do have better visibility. I don't know. I feel like I can see better. I don't know why. I have to look at much different from side to side. You're looking at the frame, but something's a little different. Let's put the Intimidator together. Let me get something to pop that band strap. We'll lay them over, and it's pretty simple to put it together. Give me just 1 second. Okay, so the likelihood of you guys having to do this is slim to none anyways. But if you do need to do this, I mean, it's not difficult. I'm gonna see, I think I remember what all I did. I think I actually just folded this down, and then I laid it down on the ground, and then I put the lines in. Like I said, you probably won't have to do this. They'll be put together when you go to pick it up. You need a wobble. Need a wobble, wobble, wobble. I'm gonna grab a wobble. Be right back. Okay, now probably the most important part. Let's make sure you guys can see. You want to make sure, I'm sure your dealer probably put them on correctly, but we'll have to make sure that they did. The nice thing is these are nice fittings, and that's a pressure relief fitting. That's more expensive than a normal fitting. All right. These go. I'm going to go back and confirm to make sure that I'm doing this correctly and how much length I have, because whatever I ended up doing, it works really well. I believe they go like that. Let's go back and check, because like I said, if your dealer doesn't have them like this, you want to make sure that that they are. And you could probably bring it up to your dealer, because I was told by Danuser this is how you do it, and you will never have a line problem. Okay, so they come behind. Didn't think about that. They come behind, they go through here, so I do have them wrong. They go through here and loop that way, and then I knew they looped when they came back to the skid loader. So okay, so yours should be coming out, going around the hoop, up and around here, and you know that's got plenty of room to move around. Okay, let's go make ours like that. I don't think I have them that way. Very possible. Very, very possible. I think I have mine going. Yeah, they're going the wrong way. Okay, so it's easy to do, guys. I've used that Intimidator a bunch, and I don't have them on there right. So you guys hang out there. Let's see if we can get them correct. I don't know why I thought it'd be a good idea to have them on the other side of that. That's a horrible idea. I don't know. I probably should have done that before I tightened all that. We'll see if we can get it. If not, we'll take it back off. The impacts are still out here. Okay, grab them both. Through here. And they come up. They go right through there like so. All right. I just remembered what I was going to do while I was there. I like these hydraulic things that they use. I was going to buy a couple of these while I was there. Way to go, Jason. Great. That is what I was going to do. To make sure I get all my covering inside and none sticking out. I don't know, call it OCD or whatever you want, but get everything I can tucked in there. It is some OCD going on. I feel it because it's making my brain tick that I can't get it all perfect in there. So if you got OCD, I feel you. Still crept out of there. You son of a gun. It's alright. Just make my brain tick. But I'll look at it every time now while I'm out there clearing trees with it. Are those even? No. Let's kind of like them to be even at least. And that's not so much the OCD, that's just, maybe it is. I don't know what it is if it's not. So, okay. That looks pretty even. Alright. So, now, when you hook to your machine, you'll kind of have this loop in here like this, and it'll plug up to your machine. And I'm telling you, mine's been that way the whole time, and even through Corey's abuse, did not rip the lines off or anything. So you just want to make sure it's got enough flex in there for whatever might happen. I like to keep mine tight like that. I don't want a big loop out here for obvious reasons. But that looks pretty good. So, all right, well, I just wanted to show you guys again putting an Intimidator together.